Hello,
I'm
hello,
nervous.
everyone. Welcome to Top Secret News. Oh, wrong show, wrong day.
Wait, hold
Well,
on.
it's a little top secret too.
Well, I. All right, everybody, excuse me, because normally when I have my guest on, she's on the other show, but tonight I had to have her on this show, and I have had so much going on the last week that I don't know what day it was. I actually was supposed to put the promo up for my guest yesterday, but my mom's back in the hospital, so that kind of took precedence, and I had a lot of other stuff going on while I was out of town. So then she messaged me this morning saying, "Hey, are we still on for the show?" And I'm like, "Oh crap, it's Monday. We actually have a show. Okay, yes, I got to get on this right away." So, yes, it is Monday night. Tonight we are on Paranormal Connections radio show. You will probably recognize myself, Christina George, along with Mr. G Money over there, the new co-host and regular, both on this show as well as Top Secret News. So, again, we got the same people. It's how it happens sometime. Let's see. Hey, everybody that is joining. Nice to see everybody already flowing in. Thanks so much. Hey, Rachel, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Carol Ann, always good to see you, my friend. Gina Marie, nice to see you. New face, but we appreciate you joining in. Uh, Rebecca Gardner, she says, hello. It finally let me in. So glad you made it in. Hey, Kara, nice to see you as well. George's beautiful wife. We always got to have her here. Angel, my girl from the UK. Nice to see you. Hey, Pat, Cora. Boy, oh boy, we got all kinds of people already flowing in
They're
there.
ready.
They're
They're
ready.
ready
They're
for
ready
this.
for
They're
tonight.
ready.
Well, I have to say this is kind of a show that a lot of people were looking at before we ever decided to do this topic. Most people who follow my page know that I myself am a psychic medium. I do a lot of paranormal cases. I'm also an abductee. I do a lot of abductee cases. And I met my guest tonight, and let me put her name up on the video stream. Here we go. Um, Met her years ago when she was working through MUFON. She had a lot of UFO experiences, brought her on the show to discuss everything, and we have been friends ever since. And, normally with her, we discuss all of the UFO stuff, but it was always very interesting to me as well that my guest, Pamela Lafredo, she actually is a psychic medium as well. And one thing that I've noticed over the years, especially like maybe the last 10 years, we noticed that there wasn't a lot of psychic mediums who were in ufology or cryptozoology at all. But of course, there's a few of us, Pam being one, myself being another, and some others that we realize that everything is interconnected. We investigate all of the different things, and I absolutely love what she's doing now, which is I will get into in just a minute of why she's on the show. But again, many of you who follow me and follow my page know that over the last 15 years that I've been investigating, and then over the last 8 years on radio, uh, I have done a lot of missing people cases as well as unsolved murder cases. And I will tell you, as being a psychic, a lot of psychics work on cases like this. But I'm also a very, very strong empath. And so, anybody who has strong empathic abilities, this will probably make a whole lot of sense to you. Other people, maybe not so much. But I will just tell you, being a psychic and being a very strong empath, doing cases like this can be very rewarding for me. When I'm able to give answers, I'm able to give closure to family, but nobody understands that when you have to give bad news, that a reading you're giving on somebody is that they're gone. Even though it may give family closure, maybe it gives answers, find the body, whatever, it is devastating to me. It is something that lasts with me for days, sometimes weeks. So, uh, kind of, because I live with a terminal illness, I kind of stepped away from doing those kind of cases for a while. But I also feel like I wasn't really fulfilling what I should be doing, because I've had a lot of people over the years that have contacted me. Over the years, I've had 2 police detectives in 2 major cities in their investigative units who actually reached out to me as well. And once you get that, it's kind of a big honor, only because
That would be nice.
99% of the time when I give information and it may go to the police department, I can end up being one of the number one suspects that they have to clear first because of the information that I can bring. So I recently did a case. One of my team members was a good friend of one of her good friends had a daughter who had went missing, and she knew I had been really busy with my mom being sick and everything. But my team member, has been around me for many years, and she knows what I'm doing, and she knows how accurate I was. So they were kind of, at a standstill. They were trying to raise money to be able to hire a private detective to try to be able to find out what happened to the daughter. And so my team member said, well, let me reach out to the leader of my team and see what I can find out. So she messaged me and, said, I hate to bother you, but I'm just wondering if, number one, you can share this. You can just know so many people. Maybe we can get some information out. And she wanted to know what I was seeing based on the picture. And all it was a picture of a girl. And right away I got information. It just literally came flooding in. And I saw her literally getting into the car and driving. I saw that she was very dizzy. And I said to my friend, it seemed as if maybe she might have been under the influence of alcohol or drugs or something, but definitely it was impairing her vision and her ability to drive. And I literally saw the car go off the road and into a body of water. Now, again, I didn't even know where this girl was from, so I couldn't really give a lot of information other than what I was seeing. And I said, then it went from a first party view to like a third party, and then I could see the car. She had a truck actually in the water, and I could see her unconscious in the truck as it started to go underwater. So I could tell that she wasn't alive. I immediately told my friend, I said, you need to tell the police department or the family. They need to find out where she was at, the very last location she was at. They need to find any direct pathways from that location to her home. And then from there, look if any of them have a body of water next to it. If you find that body of water on that path to her home, look under the water, you'll find her, and you'll find her car. When you find her car, you'll find her. And she said, thank you so much. And 30 minutes later, I got a message back stating she just talked to the mother, her friend, and she was told that they did find the vehicle. They did find the daughter. She was in there. So I posted about this, and our guest tonight, my good friend Pam, she actually contacted me and had saw what I did and was telling me a little bit about a group that her and 2 others are running. And right away when she talked about it, it made me think like, this is exactly what I need to be talking about. We need to do a show on this. And so I invited her right away onto the show. So I think that tonight is going to be a good show. A lot of people have been asking us about missing, people and people that disappear, finding them, things like that. Again, I've worked on many cases over the years. Thankfully, they've all, I've been able to, we've either been able to find them alive or we've been able to find the body so at least the family could get some closure. So again, tonight, this is what we're going to be discussing. We want to invite anybody tonight that if you have a question for our guest or for George or I, if you like to join the video stream, I will put the video stream in the comments all you need to do is click on that link. If you're on a computer or your laptop, all you have to do is click the link. It'll automatically bring you into the lobby and we'll bring you in. If you're on your cell phone and want to call in, what you'll need to do is go to your Play Store, download the BeLive.tv app. Once you do that, click on the link that we provide, connect your with your Facebook page, and you will be in and we'll bring you on. So with that being said, again, I'm going to announce our guest is Pamela Nurserato Lafredo. She's going to be discussing locating the lost. All right. It's a paranormal search for the missing. And, you know, as I was saying a little bit before, Pam has been, involved in ufology world for a very, very long time. And that's why I always have her on the other show. But tonight, we're discussing, the paranormal aspect of this. And so a little bit about her bio. It says, after leaving the traditional medical profession in 1997, having served as a physician's assistant for over 17 years, Pamela has since been self-employed subcontractor for the past 25 years and is currently employed for the last 14 years as a professional psychic medium, medical intuitive, healing channel, and Reiki master teacher at Leaping Lizards Holistic Center over in Portland, Maine. Her passion is using her abilities to assist in locating missing children, and together with Travis Hartford and Danielle Hartford, they've created Locating the Lost. It's a paranormal search for the missing. So, with that being said, welcome, my friend Pam. Nice to have you on the show.
And I am so excited to be here about this whole thing. This has been my passion for many, many years. A lot of people don't know that. It's kind of on the side thing. I've been looking for missing children a long time, in my own way. And there are people out there like Leslie Dunn. She knows. I was working with her years ago on Haley Dunn. Back in the day, they found her body. But of course, it's yet another one of those no killer found. And there's so much evidence and so much information and so much stuff that points to just total shenanigans that no matter how hard we try, I feel like some cases can never be solved if we don't really get the cooperation of detectives, Maine State Police, even the FBI sometimes. If we just don't get that cooperation, psychics aren't going to get anywhere with trying to help find missing children. They're just not. If they don't listen, and some do, and some don't.
I agree.
I've sat with detectives in the past over Ada Reynolds, told them to go search a place that was just so clear to me, in so many ways, over and over and over. I showed up and showed it to them. They basically said to me that is a private property and that, we need a warrant to search. And in order to get a warrant, we need just cause. And we can't say that a psychic said so we have just cause. That's what I was told.
I know it can be very frustrating. I mean, have you ever come across, because I know in some of the cases that I've been asked to consult in, it's always been through the family. And, the family is kind of at their last wit and they're, looking. Sometimes they've searched out for other psychics. Nothing's panned out. So somehow it gets to it. So on one side, I understand kind of the police side where they're very skeptical because in missing person cases or unsolved murders, there are a lot of psychics or so-called psychics out there that all of a sudden come out the woodwork to try to get, some popularity when major things like this happen. So we tend to be looked at either that we're crazy, or again, if we're very accurate, it sometimes focuses them on us instead of where they should be, instead of listening to us. Have you encountered that yourself?
Oh, there's the whole gamut of stuff there, it's a big range of things, Again, state by state, we all know that the government has used psychics, remote viewers, all kinds of things. Trained remote viewers.
Yes, right.
come on, they believe in the psychic warfare that, there's books written about that by people that were remote viewers. So Richard Morehouse, I think, or David Morehouse, um, you know, so we know this already, and so there's no reason to dismiss. Everybody in this world has a moment. You might even have a prophetic dream. You could have a precognitive dream and see something before it's going to happen, and then it does, and you're going, "It's real. I saw it."
Hey Pat, can you
All
do me
these
a
different
favor?
things.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm reading the chat. Is there a way that you can either pick your phone up and put it a little closer to you? They're saying they're having a really hard time hearing you.
Really? Okay. It's standing up against something. Let's see if this helps. Um,
Sometimes if you're just a little bit closer to the mic, because as you're doing that, I can hear you much better too. So maybe that's
all right, maybe I'll just pull that forward then. I'm trying to stand it up against. Is that? Whoopsie. That's not good. Whoopsie.
that's all right. We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Is that better? No,
Uh,
no. I just
That's
did
good,
there,
right?
something.
there's
Close.
good. Yeah, the closer you're sitting, or the closer you're sitting to it, the better the mic sound is. So you guys,
Is that better? Is that better?
let's see. Okay, let me check. Guys in the chat room, can you let me know if she's sounding a little clearer now, a little louder? And while I'm waiting for that, I'll say hello to a few more people in some of the comments. Sharon, nice to see you. Kelly says, Christina, have you been told that you have beautiful smile? Oh, thank you. Not very often they are my real teeth, so go figure that. People say my eyes, but you can't really tell the green when on the stream, so I guess that's okay. Let's see. Eddie says he's watching us on the big screen. LOL. Well, I'm glad that you're watching. You can see my nice big smile, I guess. MC Rathman, nice for you to join us. They're saying they can't hear. We're working on that. Let's see. Who else? Rebecca says it's great to see people using their gifts for good, and I have to agree. I mean, there's a lot of us that that's exactly what we're doing. Zachary, hello, Zachary, another new face. Zachary says, "I love working on cold cases with the local police to use the paranormal and solve them. It's such a powerful tool." And I agree, Zachary, but maybe you can join us tonight, and give your opinion since you've actually worked with local police. Because again, my experience with them, other than the two times that I was actually contacted by a detective, uh, I have not had a very good experience whatsoever. So, but again, that's my experience, and sounds like yeah, sounds like they're having the same thing. Oh, there's my producer. Joe says all aliens have green eyes. Oh, so that's for another show, Joe. Another show. Okay, so everybody's saying that the audio is better. Gina says I am really enjoying this show and how the page is laid out. It's awesome. Well, I am glad that you are enjoying the stream. We stream on other multiple platforms, Gina, so we have just audio only. Videos become very popular, so we recently had to start the video streams. Honestly, George looks great every day. I have to put some work in and got to put makeup and all that
You
crap
know
on.
what? You
So
know what? Stop, stop. You know what? That's so silly talk. But a very serious question for the both of y'all. When you say, you get contacted by, police departments about they have questions to, like what you just did the other day, Christina George, was amazing. I can't stress enough. But my thing is, do the police department actually take you serious? The both of y'all, and I guess Zachary too, is I would only assume are they taking you serious, but then they would question you. It's like, how did the hell did you guys know? Because I mean, there's less of us in this world that are psychic
Self-employed psychic.
or paranormal investigators or whatever. Do you find it to be more so not taken so serious? Both of you.
go ahead, Pam.
Well, once again, that there's so many people that have
Yes.
that range of, like, somebody that's not a professional psychic, let's say,
Right.
and doesn't ever claim to be so. but they've seen things that have happened and they claim that. You know, a lot of people have that throughout life here or there randomly. And so they have a psychic moment, whatever.
Right.
But you never know when that's going to happen and when you're going to see something. And you know what? The cops don't want to listen to just anybody.
Right.
They may listen to people that are professionals, that are
Right.
famous, that have
Right.
been known to work in these kind of cases already with success.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like they may listen to that.
D-
But they don't seek it out. You have to like go to them. They don't seek it out.
right.
That's why I'm surprised somebody called on Christina. You know, maybe they would. All right. Again, it depends on the police department, the state, like so many things. You know, it really
Right.
does. It really depends.
I
I
mean, do
was
you?
shocked. I was shocked myself though, Pam, because again, I've had multiple families that have reached out to me and they have then wanted me to talk to the detective. I've talked to him and that's like as far as it goes, or I just get all these additional
And
questions
you
like,
never hear anything. You know, even if
right,
anything you say is on to anything they already know, they're not going to validate it. They're not gonna. God forbid you go out there and say he validated what I said, and they can't risk the wrong person, you know, going out there and saying something. When something's under
right,
investigation, you know, I get it. All right, I told you earlier before we went on the air. I was raised since I was 5 years old by my father, who was he's my stepfather, but he's been around since I was really little, and he's still there and he's retired, but he's a police lieutenant, second in command in Eastchester, New York for years. And you know what? I was raised by police in my life. I was raised to obey the law. I've never broken the law in my life. Look me up. I've never ever broken the law in my life. Except when we were teenagers, but we didn't get in trouble. We kind of hopped a pool. It was a really hot night, and we hopped a pool at the beach and tennis club. That's like the only illegal thing I ever did.
well, you also had
Yeah,
a police officer father, so you know you're probably
exactly.
worried
Yeah,
about getting
you know,
caught by dad. You know, you
dad or one of his friends in the small town. Everybody
exactly,
knew everybody.
exactly,
Not that
exactly.
everybody behaved either, you know, so whatever, but you
Well,
know.
before we get into let's see. Renee is asking, when did the three of you know you had these gifts? I've been wondering my whole life about myself. Any info? Well, I will tell you that we're not, you know, per se doing any readings on this show, but you can always, you know, contact us after. Me personally, for my background, I have been able to see spirits from as young as I can remember. So I've been seeing them my whole life. I've been able to see them, hear them, communicate with them, and that's kind of
And
for
remember,
me. What about you, Pam?
and remember what they say. That's the thing, you know.
Right,
To
right,
have that lucid of a memory, to remember the words and the whole direct experience, like it was so real. Again, there's all these different levels of consciousness and reality.
right,
So you got to take that into consideration when we're having all these different you know, paranormal experiences, because there's all these different levels of high strangeness, and it depends on the person who's doing the perceiving,
right.
and the direct experience. You know, so anyway,
So
me and Travis and Danielle and Travis are very happily married, which I really love working with them for that reason alone. That's always good symbiotic harmony to work with. That's great. But I met them this past November, 2017, at a very large paranormal investigation at the Vassalboro Mill in Vassalboro, which is being run these days by Raymond Breton, who Travis knew well, and Danielle too, but I never heard of him. But my good friend, Jeff Bodwin, who also has his own little thing, Paranormal in Maine, I've worked with him and his partner Eric in the past, and we've had a nice time of things. So he was doing this thing and he called on me and he said, I want you to be one of the groups. There's 4 different paranormal groups converging for this investigation, and I want you to be there as a psychic medium. So I'm like, I'm all over it. And so that's the night that I met Danielle and Travis. Never heard of them, never knew of them, never heard of them. And oh my God, I worked with 4 different teams that night. That's the way they had it set up, 4 different areas, 4 different people going into different areas to see what they would get, all being filmed in different teams. And I worked with everybody, and even my really good friend Shauna, who I did not know was going to be there. That was a real surprise. She's like my best friend and my old neighbor, so I'm like a mother to her, a second mother. We're tight. And Jeff said, I have a surprise for you, but I'm not telling you what it is. And I'm like, oh God. Well, it was that Shauna was going to be part of it. So I was really psyched. Well, little did I know that when I went off at the last part of the whole evening, the very last segment I did was with Travis and Danielle Harford. And I was blown away by the connection that you just could totally feel, like whatever was present in our collective energy, it was like this beacon, this connection that they were willing to talk. We got stuff on the ghost box. We got stuff on the Connect machine. And that was wild. It was my first direct experience with a Connect machine ever. And my first experience with them. And they knew how to run it, but I never saw one. I heard of it, never saw one. So here we are in this circle upstairs in a place that I pointed at from when I approached the house from outside and walked toward it. It was the 1847 captain's house there. And when I walked toward that house, I said, oh my God, there's something right over there. I don't know what's up over there on the side up in there. And that is exactly where we had our experiences, up on that floor, but especially in that room. I knew it. I felt it from outside. So once we got in that room, we were sitting in a circle of chairs were there, and I was the only one sitting, and I was alone, sort of alone. And they were over there filming me alone in the empty chairs around me. So it was my son's birthday, November 25th. That somebody said happy birthday to him through the ghost box too that night. But I'm sitting there in this chair, and I asked somebody if they were present to come and sit in the chair beside me. And I have this all documented. This is a documentary that came out in January. It's all there where this entity just showed right up and sat right in the chair next to me. And so they're telling me this. I can't see it. They could see it on the screen, and I'm going, really? This is the chair next to me. Okay, so I sat back like this and put my arm around the chair, and I leaned in, and I said, happy holidays. You know, yesterday, 2 days ago, and I said, happy holidays. I'm so happy to be here with you now. And literally in the film, you could see that entity leaning right back into me. Like it was responding to my empathy and my love or whatever. You could see it on the film. So that was really, really amazing to me when I actually, after the fact, saw that going on. I'm thinking, whoa, that's new to me.
Yeah,
And then
you
we went in
think?
the other room and we were talking through the ghost box, and some really interesting things that were coming through. Even when we prompted them to say certain words back to us, like pineapple, you could clearly hear pineapple come back so clear. So that was a really good investigation, and that's a documentary that came out in January. I have it if you want to see it at all. But that was an amazing night. And when we met that night, we were talking about Abel Reynolds. I told them that's what I'm into, the missing children, especially her. Didn't even know about Kim Moreau yet, believe it or not. Didn't even know about Kim. I was all over Abel Reynolds for years. And when he heard me mention that, he looked at me and he told me this whole elaborate story of how his wife was pregnant when Ayla went missing, and then when their daughter was born, the more she got a little bit older and whatever, oh my God, she's like almost a spitting image of Ayla Reynolds. Almost a spitting image. And Travis and Danielle literally live around the corner right now of Violet Avenue, where Ayla Reynolds lived when she went missing. They literally around the corner. They ended up there, like out of the blue. Not really, but it's just crazy the way this whole thing is coming full circle in so many ways. Not only with Ayla, but even now with Kim Moreau. That night, we talked about joining forces to do investigations. We hadn't talked about the whole locating the lost. Travis thought that up. That was his idea. He like created this in his head one day, maybe with his wife, I don't know. And then just hit me up with this is what we have, this is what we're going to do. It's not just going to be like paranormal investigation. We're creating this. This is like all about, we're going to use paranormal equipment, psychic, whatever, to do whatever we have to do to help find help the living find the lost from people that are already over there. So, like, if Ayla Reynolds can speak or Kimberly Moreau can speak through the Ghost Box, and other people involved, Kimberly's mother, Kimberly's stepmother is now over there that she never met. Beatrice, Dick's wife, just passed in April. We have her newly over there. And so, like, I'm praying, oh, since B's over there, oh, B, I knew B a little bit, a very short time, not long. But you know what? The little bit of time we had, it was quality time. It really was meaningful in a lot of ways. So we're all about doing whatever we have to do to find out where Kim Moreau is. At this point, she's missing 32 years since she was 17. I'm 55. I think she would be 51. All right. She's like just a little bit younger than me. So when she was in high school, I was like right around that age too. I so relate to her, especially. She reminds me of me in a lot of ways. I think she was even a gymnast, and I was all through school, elementary and high school. I know she was a cheerleader, I think too. So was I. But I could relate to Kim's energy. I feel her energy and her presence, and I could almost like see how she would think. And she was a good girl, but so was I. But you know what? There's an influencing. There's that peer pressure. There is, all right? Especially when you're among people you do like and trust. And when they're all wanting something and you're the only one, it's like you tend to try to go along to whatever. Again, 17, high school, you know? Who knows what went on that night, what everybody was thinking or doing. But we have enough evidence that we've investigated. We have enough psychic evidence and ghost box material and card readings, you name it. We've got all kinds of psychics over the years coming in on this. When I read about some of the psychics, they're in the binder that this thing is sitting up against. See that black binder right there? That went disappearing for a very long time, only to reappear recently as we started locating Lost. Right after we started locating Lost, that binder magically reappeared after being gone, I think, 10 years, by Travis, my partner, and his wife's twin brother, Toby. Toby came upon this by accident, working in a house, I think contracting for somebody. I don't know how maybe he knew her. I don't know the story fully. All I know is Toby delivered that to Travis, and Travis delivered that back to Dick Moreau. It went missing a long time ago. It's sitting on my table. This is a copy of every single thing that's ever been documented until it disappeared. And there's more after that. I don't know if it's been written out, but there's a lot of memory since. But I'm going about now, you know, because you over all these many years, people can move bodies. Bodies can be moved conveniently. That's something you got to think of when somebody's been missing this long. It really depends where you put them in the first place. They may not be able to be retrieved and moved, and yet sometimes yes. In this case, right now, we are getting ready to have police and certain people that do this work dredge up a gold mine somewhere in Livermore, right? And there is suspicion that there is a possibility here. Now, you know what? We've been putting our eggs in that basket for 32 years on and off to find nothing. Every lead has led nowhere so far. And so I'm one of the newer psychics on the case only since March. I just started when we started this. Travis is up that area. Travis knows people from up that area. Travis knew about the Kimberly Moreau case and brought it to me. I did not know about it. And we actually jumped on that one and kind of bumped Ayla's aside because it's just so difficult with the police with Ayla. It's also really, really difficult with the family on either side. Neither one of Ayla's family members on either side of her family have been really that forthcoming, except for Ayla's grandfather. I think his name is Ronald Hansen. I can't remember his name, but not a lot. You know, there's not been a lot of cooperation or assistance, and there was a lot of people in the house tonight she met missing. So I really feel there was 4 people in there, at least 5, 6, including 2 children. And they claim that Ayla was just kidnapped and taken out of a window or whatever. And that's not the way that went down on any level. But when it comes to Kim Moreau, that took like center stage because, oh my God, when I found out about Dick and his family and how totally cooperative they are and what they've gone through with the Maine State Police, I was all over needing to talk to Dick, meet Dick, his family, and I am all over this case. I am so determined that I will not stop looking for Kim until we do find her. Maybe we're onto something right now. We'll soon know that with the next search. I'm praying this is it. I'm so praying this is it and we're done, because so many people need relief in their life over this case.
Right.
Dick is, lost his second wife now and a daughter. And, to have two sisters like Kim, older sisters, this was Kim's sister Karen and sister Diane's baby sister. And that torments and haunts them every day. They're like traumatized by this. It never goes away. 32 years later, it's a big fat question mark. And no matter who's come forward with anything, it's either never led to anything or nobody's willing to investigate it far enough to have it lead anywhere. All right.
Right.
So you talk about frustrating.
Right. And then the more time that passes, the more
That's,
frustrating
I
it
do this
becomes.
because it's such a passion. I don't get paid for it. I don't want any money for it. If I ever make any money on this, I really mean this too. I was telling my son this. If I ever make any money, if we ever get our documentary and we make money, I'm gonna insist that at least a lot of my money in it goes toward a lot of payment toward cold case detectives in Maine. I'll pay them. I will. I'll pay to hire them. We got 2. That's not getting us anywhere. We're trying to lobby for 5, and I don't even know if that's enough. But these need to be
Right.
full-time paid cold case detectives where that's all they do. Not a couple hours thrown over here and there, but that's what they need to do. And it needs to be from people that are interested in that, interested in that type of thing as a detective. So, you know what?
100%.
The money isn't always there. The state doesn't want to pay for it. So I wish there was just ways to pay for these things so they could be done. Because it isn't just about locating the missing and the bodies that are missing, but the murderers that are never found. The cold cases where you find a body, but no one's ever charged for it. Or the wrong person's in jail for it, which I've seen. I've seen
Exactly.
people spend time in jail, totally innocent. 20 years later of their life wasted. Forensically, as we become more forensically savvy, they're finding these people and all these people sitting in jail. How do you give it? You can pay them off, but how do you give them back 20 years of their life?
You said something about payment and stuff like that. I'm just listening to you, and it's just amazing the story that you're telling. But my thing would be just a closure for families. The fact that you can actually the gift that you actually have, and you're sharing it with us tonight, is the closure. I'm putting myself, if God forbid something ever happened to my family, it would be just the closure that you're able to provide for people. To me, that would be, oh my gosh, it would be just more than money itself. I mean, just letting
Most of these
somebody.
people don't sleep. They don't sleep. They
Exactly.
told me it would be nice to
Exactly.
have a full night's sleep. There's no peace.
Right.
They're
Exactly.
haunted and tormented, and
No, absolutely. So what you've been talking about is just thank you, but at the same time, I think the closure alone for family members would be my payday. I would be just blessed that I can able to have someone rest now. They can sleep at night. They can get on with their life because if we lost a daughter or a son, can you imagine a parent not? I mean, how would you be able to actually have rest? There's no possible way. So for what you're
all
doing
right. And you
now
know
is
what? There's people like me, and there's people like Gina Midori, and there's people like Travis, and there's people like Patrick Day.
yeah,
There's so many people out there that we won't rest. And these
it,
are not even some of our family members.
right,
I think Gina might have had a missing person. And I'm not sure about Patrick, but Gina runs the main cold case alliance, and
right,
Patrick runs this thing called Had Enough, and he's a
right,
real family type of advocate. So is Gina, but
right,
I've met them through locating a loss through Travis and our connections. And we're developing this really solid team of advocates in the state of Maine.
right.
And we're all of us are really passionate, and I have to say we're really just a little pissed. We are. We want results. We demand it.
Right,
Whatever it takes, we're willing to figure it out. If the state doesn't want to pay for it,
right.
there are ways to raise funds.
Let me ask you this. I saw a few questions back about 5 minutes ago. I don't know if it was a lady or a man. I apologize. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
we're getting quite
how
a
do they
few.
get into something that let's say you and Christina do? I mean, how do they? Because one question was like they're not sure if they're a psychic or they are a psychic. How do they even take a chance on doing what you do? I mean, to take the chance. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you're right, you're right. I mean, what do people do if they feel like
All
they
right,
have
I'll
the?
give you a little bit of early advice on that when I was really developing it and starting to kind of have an opening and happening stuff was like really happening. One of the
Sure.
biggest questions I asked my teachers years ago, which I have asked of me, is how do you know it's not your own head, like thinking that,
Exactly.
and it's not a psychic hit? Well, let me tell you, when it starts to really happen to you, you do know the difference between your own thought process and something that like jams into your head and you're not even thinking. And it's like, where
Right.
the hell did that come from?
Well, that's like Christina had a
And it could
show.
come in the form of a word or a flash vision or any number
Right.
of things.
Well,
If
this
you
is
don't state it, there's no way to know. If you don't share it, then there's no way if it happens to validate. Because after the fact, if you don't say it, then you could say it after the fact, but nobody will believe you that you saw
you're
it because you didn't say it.
you're
So you might
absolutely
be saying, "Oh, I saw that," but if you
right.
say it and it happens and you're validated, then you know I might have a little gift going here. And
Right.
not to
No.
say you're always going to be right, but you need to work with that. If you have any accuracy, then
Right.
you have a valid reason to search
No.
your
Absolutely.
ability to
Like
manipulate.
Christina's a mold. Like to this day, Christina's molding me right now. We had somebody on a few months back where we were talking to a lady about something, and I didn't know. We never talked to her before, and out of the blue, or psychic. I don't know what the hell I am, but or not even psychic. I don't know what I am right now, but I was able to say, yeah. Oh, your dad's a welder. Pull that out of the air. Had no idea. How did I? I mean, I don't. For someone like me, I'm thinking it's confidence. I'm afraid to say something because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to say it out loud, but finally I spoke up. Christina was there. How that for myself and somebody else that's so green like myself, where does that come from? Is it just basically just say what you want to say and don't be afraid of it and just go with it, your gut or whatever? What's your thought?
Yes, because your hunches are not your brain. It's not
Right,
your logical, abstract brain trying to figure out like what's going on with this missing person. Like, what
right,
could it be? It's not like you're trying to fish around. It's like you sense something and it isn't even you. It's like coming to you or through you.
right,
And it's like you can't deny it.
right.
So why
Well,
do that?
Well, it's almost like a two-bladed sword for the two of you. I mean, the fact that what Christina did the other day blew me away, and what you do blows me away too. But it would be like,
No guts, no glory there though. If you don't step out on a limb, you're never gonna know.
yeah, but
If
it's
hey,
no,
I could end up wrong and some other psychic could be right. It's not a
right,
contest.
no, no,
I
no, no,
want these babies found. I want these children found. I
right.
want these families at peace. If
Have
I
you ever?
said one tiny thing that led the way, good. I'm
Right,
still going to do it because I feel like one of these days, even if it's one case that I saw before I die, that's one.
right. No,
Whatever.
no, 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 no. I,
I'm
I'm
not going to
very,
stop doing it.
I'm very impressed with you. But it's like no, there is no but. But like what you both, I'm comparing both of y'all. If you don't mind, I'm sitting back here just listening because I think it's awesome. But the fact that you are right, like what Christina did the other day, she was 100% right. I'd be like so mad, like, oh, why am I right? There's somebody that passed on,
That is
and
how
that
I
must be
feel
the
though
same
a
thing
lot
for
of
you.
times.
It's like, oh my gosh, why was I right? Because you don't want to be right sometimes. Because if someone is dead in the pond or whatever it may be, it's almost like scary. It's very
It's
scary
what
for
it
what you both
is,
Well, I'm
do.
going to share
George.
something with you that you don't know. And if there's any of my people out there right now listening, I know a lot were interested. I don't know how many actually showed up on the show.
Well,
But
I
I've been
want to,
doing
let me,
tarot
Pam,
readings
let
for
me, let,
years and I teach it.
Right.
And I would consider myself an expert. If you talk to the people I've read for,
That's
they'll
awesome.
tell you that. I
Right.
mean, and so it doesn't matter what psychic information I get or visions or words or anything I get.
Right.
Ultimately, I go by my everything that I know about tarot,
Right.
timing, going backwards, timing, people in the past, I know how to navigate the whole table. All
Wow.
right.
Right.
And when I see something and I see it again and again and again in every reading, when I ask the same question from the same situation and I keep seeing it, they
Right.
are trying to tell me something no different than if I'm doing a psychic reading across the table at work.
Wow.
It's just going to be as accurate as if I'm trying to work on a missing persons case It's not that I'm exchanging money this time.
Right.
All the more. You know what? I'm doing it out of my passion. And those cards speak to me. They know how I read and interpret those cards. That is how, over this many years, I've been able to nail so many accurate things with these cards. They literally work with me and know how I interpret them. So they will give me the setup to show me what's going on in any individual situation. And I never know the questions being asked. I don't ask. Nobody tells me a thing.
Right.
Stranger off the road.
Well, I
don't
like
know
to.
a thing. I go by what I'm looking at, and I know what I'm looking at. That's all I do know.
Right. No. The two words that you just said, it's like, and I thank you for using the word passionate. The word expert, I have a hard time with being a paranormal investigator. Everybody for us is across the board. No one's a pro. No one's an expert. It's paranormal
Everybody
investigating.
was just commenting
That is
on
it.
that,
We're
I
all
guess.
paranormal investigators. But I'm thankful that you used the word passionate. That made me fall in love with you even more. The fact that, the expert word is like, nobody's really, don't get me wrong, no one's an expert because, every case is different.
My percentile of accuracy where I work is so high, anybody can
George,
crawl leaping lizards.
can you hear me?
Right.
They can call and ask.
Hey, George, can you hear me?
Years,
right.
And it's there.
Right.
I'm just saying,
yeah,
it's there. It's proven itself that something real is going on. I'm only saying that because when I use all these tools to find the missing children, it's no less accurate. My point is, nobody listens. Nobody listens to what we're seeing. They're not wanting to listen to that.
Right. Well, I love the word passionate. That made me fall in love with you more. I just love passionate people that, I'm passionate about the paranormal. You're passionate what you do. What about you, Christina? What are you thinking? Can she even hear us?
Is she even there? I don't see her.
Oh, she's probably frozen. Yeah. Christina, are you still there? Oh wow, I bet you she's frozen big time. But no, I love what you're doing. It takes everything you're saying. It takes so much just to speak your mind, and it makes it even better. As in, I'd be afraid to be wrong, and the fact that you are an expert, your confidence is high, and I love that about you.
Can you guys hear me?
You know what? It's just it's confidence that is gained through being validated of accuracy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So if you have confidence, work with it more. And the more you're accurate, you're validated, you're going to become more confident.
Right.
If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't even be doing this.
No, I
have no idea why they can't hear me.
No, that's what
anybody shouldn't do it if they're not real confident in what they're doing.
Right.
That's just the way I look at things, but that's me. You could try, but it's
okay, guys, can you hear me? Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to have, she's still talking. I got to go in and tell her to come back on. So hold on. Give me a minute. Just a second, guys. This is crazy. It's crazy. You guys can hear me, but they couldn't. And George, you need to call back in. So hold on, or chime back in. So give me just a second. All right, let me see if George is back. There's George. She's still talking. Oh, gosh. All right, can you hear me now?
I got you. Everything just went haywire.
She's still talking. She doesn't even realize that she's not in the thing, but she can't hear us, so.
Oh, no.
I messaged her, but I don't think she's seen that. She's literally still talking. Like, she hasn't even realized.
How long were you gone for?
I wasn't. I was on the stream, and I kept saying, hey, you guys. Hey, you guys.
No, you froze up, and you totally froze up, and we started talking, and I'm like, hey, Christina, would you like to say something? And you were frozen like an ice cube. I'm like, holy crap, I'm all by myself.
Well, no, the thing is I was, all these questions were coming across, and one is finding Kim, and she kept posting, and she was getting upset because I wasn't commenting or nobody was asking her questions. Yeah. And so finding Kim, I just want to let you know, I did see it. I put it up. We just, don't know what the hell happened here, but 100%, if you want to contact me, feel free to contact me. I'll do whatever I can to help. Everybody who also was asking about questions about about their abilities, things like that, contact off the air. I'll be happy to, talk to you, guide you, whatever we need to do and get that going. But again, I apologize. Oh, she got it, I guess, now. So she's going to come and re-add herself. So let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Yeah, you're good.
I know Pat says you and computers, normal show. Isn't that the truth? I swear.
Right.
Kim says, I hope you can ask what we asked. Yes, as soon as she gets back on stream, Kim, I 100% will ask, because she was wanting to ask Pamela what Kim told her about where she's located. So I'm assuming that Kim is somebody who passed away, that they're searching for her because the Facebook name is Finding Kim. So I'm thinking that's a friend or a family, and they're looking for their missing, friend or loved one. And again, it's really important for family to try to get these answers. And I want people to understand too that being a psychic, it's hard. It is hard because every psychic works differently. Every psychic has their own abilities, their own specialties. Now, I was hearing what you were saying, and please believe I was trying to jump in, but nobody could hear me. But you will see in the comments when you rewatch this that everybody, I always say, even if I don't say a word, my face shows everything, even if I'm not trying to. And I guess it was very obvious because people were cracking up because they said I was rolling my eyes and I was laughing. But I'm like you. When I hear anything about expert, you can have a whole lot of experience, right? You can have some really good accuracy, because I'm very, very accurate as well. Do I ever consider myself an expert? Absolutely not, because unless I know everything there is to know about everything, I am absolutely no expert. And I have no.
Did you hear me say that though? I mean,
Yes.
Okay? Because I had a hard time with that, so I said thank God she said passionate, because I was like, wait a second, hold on a minute.
I know you had to grab that one. Kelly says, I could not stop laughing at your expressions. And I apologize, guys. The thing is, I want to say something, and every time I don't want to interrupt her, but I want to say this is a very important topic. But every time I said something, I thought that everybody was ignoring me. So you guys just kept talking. So I just kept laughing, okay, well, I guess they're going to keep talking without me. And then I said, oh, and I start to say something and you guys will keep talking over me. I'm like, and then they're all laughing in the chat room. So I'm laughing. And, then finally I'm like, hey guys, hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And you guys just keep talking. So I was like, crap. So I dropped off, refreshed, everything. Nope. So then the next thing I know, everybody was done.
I am so sorry, Christina.
They think it's funny.
I couldn't, you know what? I totally apologize. I was like,
no, it's not your fault.
Okay.
Listeners are loving it. Gina says, you're adorable, Christina. Kelly says, oh my God, they're thinking it's funny. Melissa says, I swear I was hearing Jeopardy music. Who knows? MC Rapman says, oh my gosh. Kim says, might be a good thing. I mean, again, look, I never step on toes. I never want to step on toes. Again, I think that anybody that does these kind of cases has a passion to help the people left behind, to find some answers. So again, if a family reaches out to me, I personally would never go and reach out to a family that I know somebody's working on a case or has worked on a case. But if a family reaches out to me, I'm never going to turn them down. I will do what I possibly can for sure. So, if you need help, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to do that.
Was I
she's still talking? No, she's not still talking. I sent her a message to join back in, but she hasn't yet. So I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this: was I out of line at all? I mean, seriously.
Oh no.
Okay.
No. 100% not. Nope, not at all. Not at all.
All right.
Renee says the spirits are trying to communicate. LOL. Maybe look. first of all, we know that if you've ever watched my show, in all the years that I've done it, technical difficulties are all the time thing. I get
Yeah.
EVPs through the show, strange things happen. You
Right.
never know what might come about. So that part doesn't shock me any. Let me see if she's messaged back about coming back on. I'm not really sure. Hold on.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Oh,
I'm
shit.
just hoping that she wasn't like just talking to herself for so long when she finally,
I don't know.
figured out nobody, could hear that. I saw her pick up her phone and hopefully check my message that I sent to her, so she realizes, and then she disconnected. So we'll hope to get her, back on again. I didn't mean to upset anybody. I mean,
You're fine.
let's see. Oh, it says it won't let her back in. Interesting.
Huh. That's paranormal right there, buddy. That's all paranormal.
Well, that could be, or she thinks that it's the deep state. To be absolutely honest, I could tell you that could be true only because my shows got put on the NSA cyber watch list years ago
Yep.
because of topics that we talk about. This per se, I wouldn't really say it really. Like if we were talking about an underground base or like some top secret military stuff that her and stuff, I could see that unless they're just trying to censor her. But either way, we're still on, so we'll just keep
plugging away.
Yes, that's all that we can do for now. Maybe we can set it up that she can come back on again. Gina says, I am more concerned about Kim's case. Now, again, Gina, I don't know anything about Kim's case. I don't know about any of these cases that she spoke about. So I am more than happy. Again, if you'd like to reach out, you can send us, a picture. George and I can get together and confirm. I'm kind of mentoring him right now, but he's since I've kind of got him to trust what he's picking up, he's been very accurate on a few live things that he's picked up, like he was talking about. Again, I've been doing this forever, so I would be happy to see if I pick up anything. And one good thing about, sometimes using people is, again, different psychics get different information. And that's one of the hardest things for people to understand, because they will look up a psychic to help them. And then, they might get some information, but not as much as they were hoping for. So they'll reach out to another psychic, and another psychic will give them some different information than what the first one did. So then they're confused and think maybe the first one doesn't know shit about what they're talking about because they didn't get as much as the second one. And then the third one might not get, anything that really connects to anything the other two got. And it all depends on they are, again, how experienced they are. I disagree with Pam on, hey, if you get something, throw it out there, because I hate to say that a lot of times people who are very new of understanding their abilities can get random messages that pop in from anywhere or everywhere. And it takes a long time to really be able to understand and connect to solely what you are focusing on. So, and again, there's a lot of psychics who either are very inexperienced or just not psychics at all. And yes, I will say that because I am very well aware of many people on social media that put themselves out as psychics, or they say they have psychic abilities like myself. I've even had people copy my posts. Listen to this. It just happened recently. Copy my posts.
Wow.
Of what I picked up about the women and send it privately to somebody else.
Oh, geez.
And say that they were the ones that solved the case and they picked up the information. Unfortunately, the person who they sent it to was good friends with me and also shared it with me. And it was 100%. I mean, come on, people. If you're going to copy what, my predictions are or my readings are that I put out about cases like this, at least be smart enough to change some of it, change my punctuation. Look, I do things for very specific reasons, so I know if it's something that I put out in the first place. So to just copy paste it and put it on, send it to somebody else, really kind of dumb, But when it comes to putting out information, although lots of information can be it can be helpful, it can also help confuse things.
Yeah.
And so I do not think that families should just take a bunch of random information from people. And I think that if you're new, are helping in the paranormal, start doing little things, help if you want to do missing cases, find groups. They're all over Facebook for different people who are missing or have not been, or unsolved murders, and reach out to those groups, because I will tell you that probably 95% of the time you are not going to be able to get any kind of interaction or welcoming from the police department. Oh, our guest looks like she did make it back. Hold on just 1 second. So, finding Kim, I will ask that question. Pam, you're back.
I had to literally not go through the original app. I had to go through Chrome and go a different way to get in.
Wow.
Crazy. Well, it was funny
Back in the
because.
same way.
Can you hear me?
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
surprised.
The funny thing is that before I could see and hear both of you, and I had all these questions that were coming in chat. I was trying to ask the questions, and every time, like anybody took a breath, I would try to ask the question, and then you guys would start talking again right over what I was saying. And I was like, is anybody listening? Can you hear me? And everybody else could hear me, but you guys couldn't. It was the weirdest thing. So I was laughing. I'm like waving my hands in front of the screen. Nobody's paying attention or can see me, I guess. It was pretty hysterical, but I'm glad that you're back. But since you're back.
Then he froze. He froze up, and now
Oh.
he's gone. Where is he? I don't
Okay,
see
so
him on my screen.
all right. I wanted to get to somebody because one of the Facebook profiles that's in our chat room is Finding Kim. And I guess it's about the Kim Moreau case. And they are asking about what did Kim tell you about where she is at? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, but I'm not saying that right now on the air. I'm not willing to do that right now on the air.
Okay, well, you've got the...
Again, we're still under investigation. Until that happens, I'm not putting it out on the air. If he wants to ask me that directly, that can happen, but I'm not going to put that out on the air when we're still investigating right now. Doesn't matter what I think. There's all these huge different things right now that are going on in very suspect areas. There are at least 4 suspect areas, in my opinion, and I would like these places searched because they're similar, connected to what I'm getting. So, and they're connected too, so it makes sense. It's either this farm or that farm, or there's something with something, but their people are connected to these locations. All right, and I'm pretty sure that Finding Kim knows me well, and I know them well, and they're pretty much on to the same locations. I've already shared with them some of the locations I really believe need to be searched. So
okay,
a lot of them are not really a big secret. It's just been confirmed by what I saw, not knowing a thing about Kim's case. When I found out about Kim in March and sat at Dick's table and did my first reading, Finding Kim was there, and they saw that live reading. So that's been recorded by Travis, and that alone, as the very first reading, me not knowing anything, cold reading, there should be some real information in that reading. And one of the things I do remember mentioning in that reading, and it's on tape, is the 3 of Pentacles in my Whimsical Tarot deck, which shows Rumpelstiltskin spinning bars of gold. And the place we're about to search is an old gold mine shaft. So we might be onto something with that alone. All right? They don't show you stuff like that when you're looking for where is she, show me images. What am I looking at gold bars for? Maybe there's something to that. But I also saw the spinning wheel in the image, which I mentioned to somebody at Finding Kim, that in more than one image, I'm looking at spinning wheels and I'm looking at checkered flooring, and it's constant and it keeps on showing up. So it has to be something. They would not keep showing me these things unless in the end it meant something. In the end, it might. We don't know that yet. But they would not show me this stuff unless it points to a person of interest in their home and like things around their home. They're trying to show me something that points to the people or the location, because this is what I do for a living. All right. And so whenever I do ask these questions of them directly, I usually get direct answers from them. I have total witnesses of that from what I do. And when I do that with Kim or any other hit, when I ask them directly and I pull the same things, there's got to be something to it. All right. And so we don't know that, because no matter what I say, it's not enough like pieces. What I really want to do, and I brought it up to Finding Kim about a month ago, it should be right on their feed, that I would like to sit down with a group of people and put our heads together and put all these pieces together, because we all have pieces. And I think if I tell them what I'm getting, and there's things they know about that I don't know about, because some of them have been researching over the years longer than me. All right. So if we sit down and I tell them what I get and they can back it up with what they have, then we're on to something. But if I can't get that cooperation where I'm telling you and then you're saying, yup, we got that. Yup, that fits. Yup, that fits. Then now we're pointing somewhere. All right. If I don't get that feedback that I need doing what I'm doing, it doesn't matter what I tell them. All right. We're not going to solve this unless we all put the pieces together. All right. We need to put the pieces together because we're all holding pieces. That's what I feel like. And, there's a lot of people out there roaming around that have information about what did happen to Kim. Not only the people that were there that night that are still alive, but family members, boyfriends, ex-husbands, friends and best friends and things. People overhearing.
What information what information right now is out there about Kim that we can know about? I mean, what's
my
out
God,
there right?
But again, we can't. There's so much information, but so much of it can't be nailed down and verified.
Right.
All right. First of all, you want a timeline? Kimberly went out at 11:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning with her good friend Rhonda, who's pretty much nothing but trouble at the time, and had a lot of connections that were older than her, drug related, whatever. Kimberly was more hanging out with Leah Newcomb and other people that were really close to her. Once she started hanging around with Rhonda, in my opinion, I think she started to be led astray. All right. Now, the night she went missing, she went off with her friend Rhonda in the morning at 11:30, according to her father, and said she was going to go just enjoy the day, go here, wherever, whatever the kids do at that age on a Saturday. And somewhere along the line, after the fact and after the family looked into this one, looked into the people that were seen with her, who was she seen with? Rhonda herself. We found out that who Kim was with that night or during the day. She was with Rhonda and ran into Rhonda's current boyfriend, Darren Jodry, with his brand new fancy white 1986 Firebird Pontiac Trans Am, brand new, and his best friend, little sidekick, Brian Enman. Now, these were both boys older than Rhonda and Kim. I think they were in their 20s, and Kim was 17. I'm assuming Rhonda was 17. In school together and all. There's all these stories. Again, all these, even Brian Enman told 3 different stories and said he dropped her off at 3 different times. These people have been polygraphed and, they pass, they don't pass. Even still, you can't even use that in court. So really fully, you can't. Again, this is a twisted story. There's 32 years invested in this whole entire case. And this binder, like I showed you before, that this right here has been recovered. There's a lot of information in there and a lot of psychics over the years that have given information written in that book. And I've gone through all the psychic hits and I'm looking for anything that any psychic said that matches up with anything that I keep getting and getting and getting and getting. That's what I'm looking for. Anything that matches up with all the different images I'm getting. And there are some psychics in this book that I feel were onto something Again, it doesn't mean that those areas were searched or anybody figured out and put together the pieces of they saw this and they saw that and they saw that. Well, when you're out in nature, that could like point to 5 million locations. You can't dig up the whole earth. And nobody wants to take the time and the money to go to random searches and keep on showing up nothing. Eventually, you know what? They don't want to bother with the case. You know, you'd have people like me that would keep alive and keep trying to search. But after a while, truly, there are cases that are just closed because no matter how many searches they do, it just leads nowhere.
Well,
And
they are
we'll never
asking.
close Kim's case, even if they ever do. We won't ever, never.
Okay, well, they're asking, what does her spirit say?
I feel a struggle, absolutely. Like there was nothing consensual or agreed upon when there was a problem. I felt a bit of a struggle. I also see images of her falling and possibly hitting her head. All right. And there's also an image I saw of somebody putting something into a drink she was drinking without her knowing it. And so there could have been like a drunkenness overdosing factor to where she was not coherent enough to fight for herself. Because I felt like the struggle, you know, certain cards will show that, you know, you can fight all you want, but you've definitely got a worthy adversary on your hands and you're not likely to beat that. All right. Like you're not going to beat that struggle. So, and again, if you're like high and drunk, which it's been suggested that that night she was definitely drinking and probably doing certain things. Again, that's all in the case. I don't want to discuss all that stuff here. But
Well,
regardless,
Finding Kim is
it was
saying.
said,
Finding Kim
it
is
was
saying.
said,
Okay,
what are
go
they
ahead.
saying? No, I'm saying it was said that even Dick himself believes that, you know, this wasn't some like evil intended situation, maybe. That, you know, people, when they're not in their faculties and things go on and they happen, and, you know, if it was an accident of any sort, they just didn't manage it or handle it well in the end. And it was covered up, whatever, among the people that were there, because it wasn't one person. I really don't believe one person knows this or witnessed it or was there when it happened. So again, there's so many different stories about this. You know, you bring up Brian Enman, and then you bring up Calvin Tidswell, and you bring up his violent past, Calvin Tidswell. And there are too many people that live in that area, too many witnesses that knew him and saw him. One person contacted me and said that they saw him literally beat somebody with a bat. All right. So he's definitely crazy. He's been in jail for violence. I think he even got into a car accident once and fled the scene and left the girl that was in the back seat or whatever, who died in the accident, left her there, or she was half dead and he left her there to die. So he's got a criminal history. And this is going way back to 1986. And back then he was dealing drugs, and anybody doing drugs in town pretty much knew him. Police knew of him. It was a small town. That's another reason why this reminds me of me. Jay, Maine is kind of like Eastchester, New York. If you know Eastchester, New York, it's a really small town. Really small. It's not even on the map usually.
Well, Finding Kim, again, she says she must know where she is. We have a location
What did he say?
that they say you must know where she is because they already have a location.
All right. So that, you know, regardless, we have a location right now, but it has not been yet searched. So we do
Gotcha.
not yet know what we're going to find there for sure. No matter what, even before that happens. I don't know when it's going to happen. I heard soon. But until it happens, I'm not just going to sit here and wait for that to happen to see if she's there and wait. No, I'm still looking into every lead that comes my way, because if she isn't there, I'm on to the next lead. I'm still all over this no matter what. I'm getting lead. I got a lead today. I got actually a lead today about Ava Reynolds. And I'm all over that lead because I've heard things before pointing to such things, but never quite this direct. And I was just like, whoa. So
Well,
you never know when these leads come in.
the leads that you're getting, I mean, are they leads from other people, and you're going off of them, or are they leads from other people that are validating things you've already picked up, or are these just completely new? This isn't anything you've picked up, but it's just information.
All right. Again, remember, regardless of what I'm getting for psychic information, there are people that were there in both of these cases. People in the neighborhood, people that knew these people, friends of friends, people talk, whatever. They, when they see what we're doing, they contact us at Finding Kim, Locating the Lost, because they know something and they come across it, whether by accident or by looking on purpose. So many people got involved in looking for Ayla back in the day. So many people started sites. And, again, there's all these different family related things, police related things, all of this stuff just clouds a case. Forensically, it's very different in Ayla's case than it was back in 1986 forensically. We didn't have the forensics back then. Nobody even forensically checked Jodrie's car until I think they searched it, I don't know, 13 years later or something, 17 or some years later. And it had like 3 owners before then. The only thing you're likely to find is blood evidence if it's like way under something, rugs that they scrubbed and it went down, seeped below that. You never know if you search, but again, those are details I don't even have access to. I don't know what they found, if anything. Apparently nothing, or because they closed the case on that car. I think it was just way too late to try to do anything forensically with that car. But they did find it. They found it eventually. All these years later, they found that Trans Am, that white Pontiac Trans Am, and searched it.
Melissa says, earlier I heard one of you say pond. I first pictured water in the woods. Melissa, when we were talking about the pond was actually a case that I just had done a reading on about a missing woman. She was in her early 20s. So again, she was found in a pond in the woods, actually on the way home. So that maybe with me talking about it, I see that you were picking things up. You may have been picking up from me when I was talking, because a lot of times that happens.
Maybe
so.
not though, dear, because part of what I've been getting since day
Oh,
one,
as well.
when
Oh, okay.
Finding Kim was there, when I did that first reading, Finding Kim was there. I mentioned a small pond. It was in the imagery. I mentioned a footbridge, not for cars, but that you could kind of walk over, but there was water under the bridge flowing on both sides. Saw that image over and over. Came up in the reading at Dick's. And Dick said to me, and it's on tape, it's all taped. Dick said to me, well, what kind of pond do you see? A big one, a large one, or a smaller one? And I saw a smaller one. This was not a big pond like Kennybunk Pond over here, or some of the ponds around me here. This seemed like a smaller little pond. But at the same time, a lot of my images were showing this pond with a little island in the middle, over and over. And there are plenty of ponds right around where Kim went missing. Nelson Pond has a little island. The little island on Bowles Road, that pond, has a little island. So there is a few right in my suspected location areas. But again, what does it mean to me? How do I know? Is she out on the island? Did they take her out on the island and bury her out there? Did they take her out there and dump her over the side? I mean, there's all these questions of what they're trying to show me in the images, but they keep showing me the same images. All right. And that's when my ears go up. All right. That's when I take interest. When no matter what I ask them or how I ask it, they keep showing me the same things.
I keep on seeing, you know what, the more I'm listening and hearing you, everybody, I keep on getting an image, something wrong with her face, like she was hit something really hard with the face or beat up or whatever. But each time we say the Kim, for the last hour that we've been talking about this, I've been getting like pain on the side of my face. Now, I have no validation, of course, but I'm just saying that's what I'm getting. And I'm getting that basically that she was beat up, something on her side, and just clobbered.
All right. She was either hit in the head or she fell and hit her head.
Okay.
I do see images showing somebody that has tumbled and fallen. And yet I see images with somebody with their hand up to their head, like, right. Ouch, like they got hit in the head or hurt their head.
But if they crashed the car, I mean, if she got into an accident, ended up in a pond, I mean, just like the case I just had, I mean, that injury could have been sustained as well when she
She didn't
crashed
end
or
up in a pond with a car, honey. There wasn't any suspected car crash involving a pond. It's more like if she's anywhere near a pond or in a pond, she was dumped there, kind of thing. This was not a motor vehicle accident. That was something different. That was pointing to a person of interest, Calvin Tidswell, who was very violent, has a history in the penitentiaries and jail for violent things. Again, I haven't spent that much time looking into him other than the fruit stand and the vegetable stand and the farm stand and the thing that keeps showing up since day one. That was right there since day one, too. All right, that can absolutely be validated. And I knew nothing about Tidswell's family having a farm stand. I don't know anything about that area up there. I'm from New
right,
York.
George. Just
Right?
so you know, Finding Kim says it is the story, George. So they are validating that is something that you picked up is something. Lori Ramsey, hey Lori, nice to have you here. Says I keep hearing her screaming, and she's holding her head and bleeding. So again, that kind of goes to the same what you're saying, George, as well. Uh, Gina
Mike,
says, I feel a hit, bloody head. So, again, a lot of people are picking a lot of stuff up. Finding Kim says, there was a car accident mentioned, but it was the other guys.
all right. Now, when it comes to her getting hit in the head or falling because maybe she was a little bit, not feeling so good with whatever she was doing that day, drinking, drugs, whatever. We weren't there. We don't really know. All right. We can't get any real clear answers as to her state of mind either. All right. But there's suspect information that she was drinking with them, and one of them admitted, I think Brian admitted, that they were doing, he and his friend were doing coke earlier that day, him and Darren Jodry and all this. Admitted it to Dick. And I think maybe the police, I don't know. But I feel like, according to the timeline I see when I look at my imagery, it seems that she did not die right away after either falling and hitting her head or getting hit in the head. There was I feel like at 1 o'clock in the morning, that was a really critical time. Like something happened at 1 in the morning. But I don't know why, but I really feel like at 4 a.m. is when she passed. All right. So I feel like she passed on the 11th, the next day, at 4 a.m. ish, right around, not on the dot, but right around that time frame, because I feel like it took time for this passing. Like without medical treatment, without this or whatever she was really needing, she just progressively, may have gone into a coma and then whatever. Because it definitely shows me that. It shows me that she was like laid to rest someplace. Like if she was unconscious but still alive, somebody might have put her in a bed or laid her somewhere or tried to take her somewhere to see if she'd come around.
See, I think the
That's what I
opposite.
see.
I'm getting the feel of it opposite. What I'm getting is, yeah, something was going on first, but someone returned and she wasn't dead, and that's where I'm getting the whole side thing of the face. Like they just wanted to make sure that she was put down. See, I'm looking at it totally flipped to what you just said, but I don't. I mean, again, there's no validation. We can keep on going back and forth. We can all think what we want to think, and what I'm getting is someone came back, something happened, 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone came back to see if she was still alive, and she was, and then somebody did something foul to her.
All right. Well, however that is seen, it doesn't really matter. All I know is what she didn't die instantly. She didn't die right away. I felt like there was several hours
Right.
that she was in the state before she actually passed. So where she was located at that point, who knows? Whether she was left alone or whether they had her. Personally, there's a part of me, because she was somewhat among friends, all right, and yet some of these people were strangers to her. She had never really known Brian Enman or Darren Jodry. She did know Calvin Tidswell already. So, a lot of people point right at Calvin Tidswell, but unless he came into the picture at some point in the evening, all right, then he wasn't really named as far as Rhonda and Kim kind of hanging out with Brian and Darren, and then Kim went home that night Rhonda claims after the fact Kim went missing. Rhonda claims she wasn't even in the car when Kim pulled into her driveway around 11 p.m. to go get something. All right. It turns out I think she was trying to get money. All right. She had to go to the bathroom, supposedly, is what was said, but I think they said she was going home to get more money. All right. That's what I think. So at that point, her sister was home, Karen, with Bob, her boyfriend, and they were just sitting there watching TV. Kim came in and said, I'm going back out. I'll be back for about an hour. I'll be right back. I'm going for a ride. And so they didn't think that much of it, but I think that at least one of them noticed the car in the driveway, couldn't see who's driving or who was in the car. So there's no way to know at that point who was in the vehicle. Was Rhonda and Darren in there too? Brian was certainly driving. Apparently, the story was they dropped off Darren Jowdry at work and then, dropped off Rhonda, and that Kim was left with Brian Enman. And so Brian admitted to Dick that Kim had consensual sex with him over and over, like, making sure the word consensual. When I look at statement analysis, which I've studied a lot over the years involving these cases, you can tell when somebody's lying and not telling the truth. They choose their words and they give themselves away, pretty much. It's like the human lie detector thing.
Gina Marie is actually saying that. Now, again, you have to remember that a lot of people who follow my show and the streams have abilities themselves. So a lot of the people who are chiming in are people I know have abilities, and they're picking up things as well. So a lot's been coming through. Kelly says that you got the same thing you did, George, but Lori says no, she didn't die right away. She's actually showing me. Finding Kim is asking you, Pam, do it live. Ask her now what happened. Gina Marie is saying, I think she was raped. I cannot shake that. Lori says there are two guys, drunk, drugged, and they are laughing. One has blonde hair, the other has dark hair. I have not followed this case at all. I'm being shown all of this through her eyes right now. And again, now this is I know Lori, and again, that's kind of how I get stuff as well. When I did the case the other day, when it comes through, it can be right through their own eyes, through a third party, all different things. So again, lots of information. So if anybody, Lori, again, any of you are, picking things up on the location, which is Finding Kim is wanting to know, feel free to contact them, I guess, and share that information if you would like. We've got about 15 minutes left in the show, but I want to give you a chance to give out the links, Pam, for the group, how people can contact you if they need your help, if any of the people on the stream have gotten any information that you would like, where they contact you, etc.
All right. Well, I can give out my phone number. It's my business number. So
Okay.
it's 207-608-1743. Anybody that wants to share any tips or anything with me about anything that they get, it's always welcome. It's always passed along to other authorities and shared with other groups so that we can put the pieces together. You can get me on Facebook under Pamela Necarato Wilfredo. I guess some of you are picking that up anyway, maybe through the stream. And I work at Leaping Lizards in Portland. You can have phone readings through them too. I don't need you present at all. And that number is 207-221-2363. And other than that, I have an email that I almost never go in, so that's not the best way to contact me.
All right, and I will definitely, I will put
Locating the Lost. Locating the Lost. Just look up Locating the Lost on Facebook and join our group and follow what we're doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a very interesting show, very important, information. I'm glad that we were able to bring you on. If you get any updates or you solve the cases, make sure that you reach out to me. Again, as I've told you in the past, if you, need my help or want me to consult anything, feel free to reach out to me as well.
All right, and one more thing before we go off the air, I want to mention
Sure.
this is like a pre-radio thing for Parafest Maine, which we're about to have in Vassalboro, like I mentioned earlier. That's where we did the investigation in November, where I met Travis and his wife. We're going back there August 18th, and we're doing this really lovely big paranormal festival. And we'll be there as Locating the Lost. I'll be doing readings if anybody wants them, but we'll be trying to like stream some of our own trailer that we're working on for our first documentary on Kim Moreau.
All right, great. Well, again, make sure to get out there. If you're out there at the Parafest, make sure to check out their location, their table, and get a reading. Again, if you have received any, if you have any leads, if you have any information you think would be pertinent in helping the families get reunited with their lost loved ones, make sure to reach out and let this information be known. Again, thank you so much for reaching out to me, Pam. Thanks for coming on the show. Definitely appreciate it. We'll have you back again soon, especially about the abductee stuff. I can't get enough of
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah, well, we're getting ready to do our annual Starborn Support Gathering at the end of August. And we're going to do more filming with Inside Edition at the Exeter, New Hampshire Festival. So
Nice.
it's going to be a big weekend. It's the last weekend in August, and we're going to be in Massachusetts and New Hampshire filming with Inside Edition, Starborn. So that should be fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show, and I will be talking to you soon.
Good night, honey.
All right. Good night. All right, everybody. So we're almost at the end of the show. Just want to, if anybody else has any other questions that they want to ask, again, for Gina, Lori, all of the people who are picking up on stuff, feel free to contact Finding Kim. If you look up Finding Kim, you guys are commenting all in the same chat room. You can click on that link. It'll take you to the profile. Again, this is, I assume, is the group that is working to try to do that. So make sure that you contact them. Let them know what you're getting as well. I think that it's very important. And again, Finding Kim, if again, I usually read by pictures. So if you would like to send me a picture of Kim, I would be happy to send you any information I'm able to pick up, as well as George. So we'll work together. Again, we'll do whatever we can to help you, but feel free to reach out to me if you like our help. And again, we'll do whatever we possibly can. Let's see. Kim says, thank you. You're very, very welcome. Again, I hope that with some of the listeners that join in, because again, we have a big following of a lot of people who are psychic mediums and work in this field. They're great resources. So again, I think that even if George and I, you don't need us or whatever, the fact that you have people out there that you're connecting with now that maybe you didn't have those connections, possibly you're able to do something. Finding Kim says, if you read anything, feel free to do so. The profile pic is hers. Okay, well, I can't see the profile pic right now because it's in the software. So I will go to the page later and I will take a look at the picture. Lori says, I don't need pics. Yeah, I mean, Lori, you're more than happy. I mean, again, to reach out to them. And if you're able to give any information, feel free to do so. For me, it's never any competition. I'm just saying if, they need, they want my input, that's fine. Again, I never reach out to anybody to put myself in the middle of a case. If the family wants my input, I will usually have them contact me privately. And then at that point, they can send a lot of different things to me. But as long as I have something that either was the person that they're looking for, a picture, things like that, that's all I need to connect, and I can get quite a bit of information. But again, all of us working together, that's what we need to do. I mean, I have down multiple people, not only alive but also deceased. I've helped solve a couple unsolved murders. So again, people out there that have abilities like this, again, any information, helps. So again, feel free to reach out to them. George, you and I have a busy, busy season coming up.
I know. I'm pretty excited about it. The more we talk about it, the more I'm like, I better buy a calendar. It's so damn busy.
Yeah. Normally from March until November,
Yep.
crazy busy for the show.
Yep.
But it's one of those things that it gets bigger and bigger as I go, because more people, it's like I meet people and then they're like, oh, can you come to this event? But these are other things that are scheduled. But because my mom had been so ill and had to have surgery and
Right.
the kidney failure and heart failure, I had to cancel a lot of things or reschedule them. So now it's like, as the next few months are coming, we got all kinds of stuff coming.
Let me ask
October,
you, can you put up on your site, can you put up a calendar to what you have or what we have coming up in the next 30 days? So actually people can come out. We can actually meet some of these great people if they're close to us.
Yeah, well, okay, so a couple things. So on the Facebook page, what I would have to do is create some event pages for the page to show that we're going to be at different locations, and put the information out and they can share it. I am in the process of getting the website done for the radio shows. It should be up very soon. I've got the website developer working on it now. He's almost done. We got to do a few more things to it, but it will be a one-stop shop place. You will be able to go there. You will be able to see all of the top trending news articles in our field about all different subjects. You will be able to come and watch the live stream shows directly from the website if you go nowhere else. If you miss those, you'll be able to find the archives on the site. Not only the videos archives, but also the audio archive only. So if you're driving on the road, you got a long trip to a Paracon you want to go to, and you want to listen to George and I talk crazy for a couple hours, it'll be all there for you. Yep. The YouTube channel will be up and linked on there. I haven't really been pushing the YouTube channel, a whole lot, only because we've been working on so many other things, and we've got a YouTube through the network we've been pushing. But once this debuts, we will actually, across the board, it'll be a one-stop shopping place. It has an event page, so you'll be able to see all of the locations that George and I will be at, all the different things. If you have an event that you want us to cover, a conference, you have a case, you just have a very interesting place that you'd like us to investigate, you have a ghost tour business, and you want to promote that, invite us. We'll come on a tour and we will check it out and do an interview with you and help promote your event or your tours. Anything pretty much in the paranormal, if you want us to be there, we'll come and cover it, host the event, and post everything up. So again, it's coming. I am expecting that it should be out by the end of the month, and we will make sure to let everybody know. But at that point, they'll be able to have access to the calendar. They'll be able to see all the events that we're going to be going to. And again, if any of these places that we're going to be at, all you got to do is look for our table. We will have our signage out there saying Paranormal Connections Radio Show. If we're not at the table, that means we are out and about, running around, interviewing people. If you see us, run up, give us a hug, say hello. We always like to see people who want to interact with us. So looking forward to it.
Can't wait, man. This is gonna be I'm excited. I can't wait. I really can't.
And for everybody that is on the West Coast area, I just want to let you know, next month, 7th through the 9th of September, you must come and join us, hang out with us. We are going to be at the Para Retreat at the Biltmore Hotel in Lake Tahoe, California.
Can't wait.
Haunted history like crazy. Location is absolutely amazing, right on the on Lake Tahoe. I will tell you, this is a big hotel and casino, and it is completely sold out for the event. So There are no more rooms in that at that location, but not to worry. It's Lake Tahoe. There are plenty of other locations very close by, within walking distance or within a cab ride or a drive that you can stay at. But make sure to get your tickets. Tickets are going fast. They're very reasonably priced for the whole weekend, or if you just want to do the Paracon or you just want to do the investigations, they're going to have costume parties and what is that? Some kind of dinner mystery show.
Murder mystery show? Is it a
Murder,
murder?
there you go, the murder mystery show. I'll probably be the one that gets sacrificed or murdered, so I'm out of it real quick. Just kill me and just try to figure out who the hell it could be, because it's better than a game of Clue. If somebody killed me, there would be so many suspects, and even at the Paracons, there'd be lots of suspects. Maybe I have to talk to them about that. Maybe I need to be the victim for a change. Anyway, let's see. Actually, Kara says there is only 11 tickets left.
Wow.
My goodness, get them fast if you guys are wanting to come. I'm telling you, that is going to be one that we'll put in the record books. We're going to do some karaoke, our paranormal karaoke, aka for me, drunk karaoke. I never know what you might see on the live stream, but as usual, we'll be live streaming. We'll be having fun. We'll be walking around talking to everybody. That's awesome. Gina says that's 8 hours for me. Well, Gina, you need to get those tickets and you need to come out and check us out.
Yeah.
Come in and say hi. Let's see.
There's a lot of hotels. You can stay on the South Shore, North Shore's on the other side of the lake. So there's no what you just said. Just it's a cab away, and there's people like us that have cars and blah blah blah. I mean, there's always a place to stay. It's gonna be one. Yeah.
8 hours is nothing. We drive all over. 8 hours is nothing. That's a short trip. That's a
nothing.
Trip you can go to and come back the same day. Let's put it that way.
You know, it all pays off. You get to meet Christina and you get to meet George. I mean, come on.
That's right. Oh my gosh, yes. And we are so much fun. If you think we are fun on the stream and you think that we're fun separately, you're in for some fun when we get together. Hey, all you gotta do is go through my page and some of my videos. Like George is the positivity guy. I'm the party have some fun person. Time for seriousness, but just not when I'm with everybody like to have fun with. So
you're gonna have fun. I can't wait.
I am. Let's see. Laura says, "Are you serious?" ? Mafia ties. Well, if it has mafia ties, you know what? That'll even give it an even better paranormal history and effect. So I don't care what ties it has. That's not what I'm there for. I'm there to investigate. So I think that makes it even better. Kelly says, Christina, I had mentioned on the last live, we have to go to a psychic fair coming up in September. Hey, Kelly, just message me and remind me so I can get it on the calendar. Because September's booking up fast. October is completely booked. We will be all over the place. George and I will be going through the haunted houses, and I love that because everybody loves the fact that I'm a scary cat when it comes to theme haunted houses, and I screamed at all the other ones I went to. And George is a bigger scaredy cat about these haunted houses. Look, give us a real haunted house, we'll be all good. We will be going through like brave warriors. You give me a damn person where people are live jumping out scaring me. I almost punched a kid live on live stream last year. Almost went to jail. So at least I'll have somebody who's more scared than me. So I think it's actually going to be a lot of fun. So we've got 4 set of. We're also at the end of October. Well, George and I will be headed to Los Angeles.
God, there's so much going on. I love this, man.
We got some good stuff coming on, and a lot of my friends out in the LA area that do a lot of the paranormal and Halloween stuff have a lot of stuff going on. So we will be out there for a weekend. We're going to jam pack everything we possibly can do in that weekend, including some investigations. We should have a really good fun time. Again, for anybody who can't make it, we will be streaming it. Let's see. All right. Melissa says, ever come to Canada? I got one for you. Hey, you never know. You never know where we might go. So absolutely may show up. I'd love to go to Canada, so absolutely. Let's see. Gina says that's what 8 hours from me. Gina says prices, gotta rent a car unless George fixes my truck. LOL. Uh, Angel says, have you both considered marriage? Well, since George is married and I am completely against marriage, yeah, that's probably not ever going to be.
Wait a second. We're married right now. Yeah, this is a show. This is a
Is
TV thing.
this what they call like what is that, like a work husband or a work wife? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Well, I really don't like, I never liked any of my husbands. So maybe you don't want to be, maybe you just want to be the co-host and not have that kind of relationship, because we might get divorced real quick and I have to fire you or something. So
Yeah, you're right. I'll stay back. I'll just be the guy getting you coffee, ma'am. What do you want there, Christina? I got you, girl.
yeah, Kara, I got your back. Kara says, George is taken, LOL. Absolutely. And no worries. You don't have to worry about anything right here whatsoever. Yep. These are all yours, girl. Let's see. Angel says, my bad. No, you're from
You're
the UK.
fine. You're fine, Angel.
Everybody's laughing. They think it's funny. Hold on. Which part of Los Angeles? My mom wants you to investigate a house in Los Angeles. Well, as I said, we'll be out there in October. If she can wait till then, get a hold of me. Let me know. We would definitely be happy to go there. She wants to get a hold of me ahead of time. I can remote view her home, see what I can pick up on there. Maybe I can give her some simple advice of what she can do to fix whatever's going on. If not, 100%, we'd be happy to come out there, even if we have to come out at a different time to help her. So that's never a problem. Renee says, how do you help someone who thinks they have abilities? What could I do for myself? Well, you could probably reach out to me and I could give you some good advice. Not saying that I know it all, but I have been mentoring people for the last 10 years, children and adults. So I might know a thing or two to help you along the way. Go figure. Who knows? But you can try me or you can try somebody else. But anyway, I would say that you would want to reach out to somebody who has been doing this for a very long time, knows what they're doing. They can steer you the right way. Renee, definitely got a lot going on. In fact, again, if you reach out to me after, I can definitely talk. I can give you some things to do that can kind of help. She says Connecticut has tons to investigate. Just saying. Well, never know. We may make it out to Connecticut one day. So who knows? So definitely contact me off the air. That's fine. Angel says, I'm coming over in October for sure. Girl, get out here, my UK friend. Now that would absolutely be a blast. Just don't take me to no fetish basement. I don't want to be spanked or tied up. Like, I tell you, I got friends and they got some of the weirdest places they like to go for Halloween, and they always want to take me. I said last year I went to cover a zombie event. Okay. One of my good friends, longtime friends, he has a big zombie walk every year, and he also holds it in Modesto. So huge. I mean, hundreds and hundreds to thousands of people show up for these. It's family friendly, all these kind of things, and they walk through the streets of Sacramento all dressed up as zombies, pushing their babies in carriages that they all look like baby zombies, and people really get into this. And for about the last 6 years, he's asked me to come to the after party, which is an adult after party. It's usually held at one of the bars locally. And every year that he does it, it always seems to be at a time when I am like most busy covering everything. It's usually in the Halloween season, sometime in October. I never been able to do it. Last year, I finally had an opportunity. I went and I had to cover Carol Ann Castro's The Nightmare on Mare Island. So I went and covered that during the day. I had to speak at a meet and greet they had. And then I rushed over back to Sacramento to go through and go to his after party for the zombie thing. Now, they said, it was going to be adult thing. It was they were going to have burlesque dressing, all different kinds of things. And I thought, again, I'm no prude. I was like, okay, this is like one for the sexy adults, right? So I walk in, and when I walk in, originally like before it actually opens up, and so it's myself, Renee, and Mike, and we finally find it. It's downstairs in this restaurant slash bar that's like underground. So you have to go down these stairs, like you're looking like you're going to a creepy basement. As I get in there, it's like on a fog machine, so all you can see is like fog and this big zombie guy sitting at a table, which is my friend, my good friend. So I go in there, and I give him a hug, and he's like, okay, well, get ready for the stream. It starts in like a half hour. Walk around, see what you like, get some footage, and if you need anything, let me know before our interview. So I said, all right. So I walk around, and I'm like, okay, I hear a DJ going in one room. I see the bar. I see some other things, and I figure I need to like go scope out the location first, so I know where everything is. So I know what I'm doing later. So the first place that I go to is I go into this one room, and I look, and all that I see is people tied to boards and over spanking stations, and there's people very barely clad in all kinds of chains and leather, and they had cages with girls in them, and I didn't really know what I just walked into. And some of them are dressed up like zombies. So now I'm like, we got a zombie fetish club. What the fuck did I just walk into? So they're asking me if I want to sign. They got like a sign up sheet where you could sign up to be spanked, right? Now, I'm like, I'm going to bypass, and I'm going over, but this is a funny story. I'm going to bypass. I'm going to go and bypass signing up to get spanked, but I felt like I needed to go get a nice stiff drink. So I go to get a drink, and I look. Now, mind you, all the people start coming in, and they're in these very strange costumes, and they also look like zombies. And I start to get a little freaked out. And I'm dressed up as Wednesday Addams from the Addams family. And I look like I was a virgin ready for sacrifice. And these people kept coming in with like upside down crosses on their foreheads and shit. And I told Mike and Renee, and I said, whatever you do, now mind you, they're my cameramen, right? Whatever you do not leave me.
I'll leave your ass.
Do not leave me. Do not leave me. And the other thing is, I was watching everything. I needed a drink, but I was afraid because I thought somebody was going to roofie me, and I was going to end up in somebody's basement in the next morning, right? So like they thought it was hysterical. I didn't think it was so funny. So you see all these pictures, and I have to take pictures with all these guests and stuff, right? I will send them to you. I look like I was petrified. Again, how the listeners were saying, like, facial expressions say everything. I'm smiling, but you look like I'm like, what the hell did I do? What am I doing here? So they're laughing. I'm drinking. So I meet a girl, and she's got an upside down cross, and but in this skimpy outfit, but she seemed really nice, and so she had a shot of tequila with me. So I figured she couldn't be all that bad, right? So I start seeing all the rest of the people come in. So I decide, well, I need about 3 or 4 more drinks, right? So I have about 4 more shots at that point. And I look around, and Renee and Mike are gone. Nowhere to be found. Like, I just told them, don't leave me. So I go to look for them, and where do I find them? They're both mesmerized with watching girls get spanked. So I was going to sign their asses up to get spanked themselves, right? But they kind of had the same idea for me. So at this point, I have to kind of stay away from them before they like join in, because they're known to try to set me up all the time. They think it's real funny. So they were trying to get people to convince me to go get spanked. And I'm like, nope, can't tie me up. Can't, no. So I go and have another drink. Now it's full. So I'm like, okay, I hear the music going. Now it's time for me maybe to go dance. I love to dance, right? I'm going to blow out some steam, forget about the craziness that's in here. I hear a good song, and then I walk in, and all of a sudden it changes. It goes from some like hip hop song to some like satanic music. I don't even know who I could say because I don't know any dark metal music, but it was kind of crazy. And I'm looking through the window, right? And I see this woman, this heavy set woman. She's like in a corset and a G string, and she's got pasties on, and she's got a black veil over her head. And there's a guy dressed up as the Pope in all white, and she's got him sitting in a chair in the middle of the room. And she's walking around and she's doing a burlesque show and she's stripping off of her clothes. And then, as I'm like, all of a sudden, she goes down and she grabs a sponge and a bowl, and it's got supposed, obviously, fake blood, or I hope it is. I've convinced myself it was fake blood. And she puts it in and she starts rubbing it all over the Pope's head. And
Oh,
then eventually she
wow.
puts the black veil on him, like she's changed him over. And now, mind you, I grew up Catholic, so like I'm being traumatized at this point. So now I need another drink. So I go back to the bar and I have my drink and I turn around and look to the right. And the girl that I was talking to and had a shot with early, she's now back and she's got some damn like satanic horns on, the upside down cross. And now she's not in a skimpy outfit. Now she barely has anything on and she's got all this blood all over her. So obviously my face says it all. So I looked a little shocked. And she said, "Oh, what's wrong?" And I said, "First of all, what happened to your clothes? But what happened to you?" And she said, "Oh, didn't you know I just did the burlesque show?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Oh, you should have saw it." And I'm like, "No." So she introduces me to somebody. She goes, "Well, if you want, I could take you back to this spanking station and I can let you spank me or I can spank you." And I'm like, "What the fuck is up with the spanking station?" Like, no, people. But my two cameramen right over there, they would love for you to sign them up.
Oh, shit.
So it goes to bad to worse. Then the person right next to me, she introduced me to, is telling me that she is part of the underground vampire cult here in Sacramento.
Oh, no. Got to go. Bye. See ya.
And they're looking at me like, again, like they want to come in and sacrifice me. Now they're telling me it's underground. You got to get the secret, password to get in and to know where to go and blah, 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 blah. And she's telling me that she can actually invite me to one of the secret lunches and I can get invited to be part of the cult. Now, I don't know what I look like because I definitely didn't feel like I looked like I belonged in a vampire cult. I definitely didn't look like I deserved to be in a satanic cult. I definitely did not want to be sacrificed or end up as somebody's sex slave in somebody's basement. So I go and look for Renee and Mike, and I'm like, I find Renee and Mike, and they're over watching the burlesque show, of course. So they're peeping through the window like some peeping toms. And I go tap them on the shoulder. "Thanks for sticking around and saving me, guys. Watching my back like my security. You guys suck. You're fired. But, I need you to do me a favor." And Mike says, "My God, Christina, where did you bring us? Like, what kind of friends do you have, right? What kind of friends do you hang out with?" Just as he says that, some girl screams across the room, "Mike!" She comes running over. Come to find out it's one of his Facebook friends. And I'm like, "Oh, excuse me. Who are your friends?" Because like they screamed. I only know one person here, which is the person who did the event. I don't know all these other people. Yeah, I think you're hanging out with some strange people. So he's sitting there talking to her in where the fog machine is. And they tell me I need to go and do the interview now. So I have my purse and all my equipment. So I said, "Mike, I need you to do me a favor," because he's sitting in a chair. I said, "Here's my purse. I'm going to put it right here by your feet. Watch it with like a hawk, right? This is now part of you. You are responsible for the purse. Okay? Don't lose my purse. I'll be right back." He says, "Okay." And he still keeps talking and everything. So I don't know, I go out to the patio. I'm doing the interview and like 20-minute passes and Mike shows up on the patio and he says, "Excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but do you know where the girl that I was with went?" I'm like, no, why would I know where the person that, you were talking to went? I was out here. And he goes, well, I had to go to the bathroom and I left her there. And when I came back, your purse is gone.
Oh, crap.
And again, I'm like, one job you had. One job. Don't leave the purse. And he's like, well, what did you want me to do when I had to go to the bathroom? Dude, I'd rather you take my purse with you. And in this place, nobody even would have looked twice at him, right? He would have blended in perfectly fine. He was worried about carrying a purse. Believe me, nobody would have been paying attention to that purse. But I'm like, I don't care if it was in the bathroom, better than being left in the middle of zombies, right? With all of my stuff in it. So I have to find a security guard. He has to help me search the zombie place for my purse. We finally find it underneath a chair where they were sitting. Somebody stuck it. I want to leave. Can't find Renee. He's fine. He's over checking out the spanking station again.
That's Renee.
I swear, I told him ever since then, I am getting new cameramen and security because they suck. They are the worst at protecting me or making. I could have woke up in the basement of somebody. I'd be somebody's sex slave at this point right now. Never do another show. And Renee probably just would have called you and said, hey, Christine hasn't shown up for a while. You want to close the show and just moved on. Yes, people, this is really the craziness that called my life. So,
oh shit, man, that's a good story.
But no, Marie, Gina, I got my purse back. Fortunately, everybody finds it so funny. But I figured I had to, before I left, leave it in a funny story. I got so many of them, so many crazy things that happens. Like I could do a show just on me every single night, but that gets boring to me. So,
and that is why, Gina, you need to show up. 8-hour drive is nothing. And
you never know. Look, I'm also very unpredictable. So it may be at a zombie thing I don't want to be spanked, but who knows? After a few tequilas at a paranormal retreat, I may need a spanking. Who knows?
Yes, you do, girl.
Bit of bad girl. Oh, my goodness. All right, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Yep. Also, make sure to join us on our new night, Wednesday night. Got it right this time. Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:10 Eastern Standard Time. Join us. We got all kinds of interesting topics that we talk about over on that show as well. We have a great time. And again, have a great week. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Good night, everybody.